Hey guys, so for those of you who don't know me, my name's Chelsea, and I have had tons and tons of questions asking about my ketogenic diet. So I am just gonna make a video. Hopefully, I can answer all your questions, and hopefully, you guys like this video and you learn something from it. Um, just a little background info from me. I'm 21 years old. I'm about 5'2", 5'3", and right now I weigh around. Usually I'm in between 148 to 145 pounds. But before I was 185 pounds, so I was very close to reaching 200 pounds, which is terribly unhealthy for a 5'2" girl. Basically, I was diagnosed with PCOS in 2017. For those of you who don't know, it stands for polycystic ovary syndrome. It's a syndrome that tons of women get. It's a hormonal issue where basically your hormones are super imbalanced, your periods are super irregular. I didn't get my period for a whole year when I had PCOS, and it is the main reason for weight gain. I have gained 20 pounds in 1 year, if not more. Like, I just felt so terrible about myself. Like, I was always confident, but it was like, I remember clothes didn't fit me. Like, I would want to shop at Zara and H&M, Forever 21, like all the regular places where girls shop, right? And not even like the large would fit me. Sometimes not even extra large would fit me. Like, it was just such a shit feeling, knowing that if I continued with this, I would probably have to start shopping in plus size clothes, which I did not want to do. And like, for me, it was just such an easy thing to just disregard trying to make a difference, because I was like, okay, like, my doctor told me that this is the reason why I'm gaining weight. My doctor told me that it's going to be hard for me to lose weight. So I was like, just fuck it, like, forget it. Like, this is my life now. I might as well just flaunt it, just live it. Work with what I got, right? So I remember one day I just snapped. My coworker told me, if she's watching this, I know she's gonna know who she is. No hard feelings, because I know you weren't trying to be a bitch, but this is what clicked in my head. My coworker told me that she was going through my Instagram, and she was like, oh my god, like, you used to be so small. And for me, it's just like that one little comment just triggered in my head. And I was like, okay, like, I do not want people thinking that I have gained this much weight. So I still remember this night so clearly. I was out for dinner with my mom and my sister. And I told my mom, like, I wasn't even sure if I should have said anything, because I was like, fuck, like, what if she's just like, yeah, whatever, Chelsea, like, you're not gonna do shit. But I remember I was like, Mom, like, need to make a difference in my life. Like, I do not want to be fat anymore. And she was like, okay, like, we'll get you a personal trainer, we'll get you a nutritionist. Thank God she paid for my first month of personal training, because that shit is expensive. My trainer is a nutritionist too, so it was basically like, he gave me like everything. His name's Leroy. If you're in the GTA, General Toronto area, or Mississauga, Lean Body Studio is definitely the place to go. All the trainers there are amazing. Right now, his nephew Tish is training me. I've been training with them nonstop ever since. I've known of them for a really long time. I've been taking like their boot camp classes and whatever for a couple of years. But like, it's been on and off, and like, obviously it's been off for a long time when I gained all that weight. But no, he's been great. He gave me a diet plan, which was the ketogenic diet, and I had no idea. Like, I've never heard of the keto diet at that point, so I had no idea what it was. And I remember like the first week, I don't know if it was because I had my period that time. Finally, I got my period. I don't know if that was the reason why I didn't lose any weight when I was like tracking everything, eating exactly what he said, working out with him every week. Like, I don't know, I was so discouraged. I remember I did that 1 week weigh-in and I didn't lose anything. So I told my mom, and she was like, oh, like, maybe Leroy's not the best nutritionist for you. Maybe this diet is just a fad diet. if you do lose any weight, you're probably just gonna gain it back. Like, I'm gonna pay for a new nutritionist, blah blah blah. And I remember he told me, like, no, just trust the process. And, like, something in my heart just told me, like, okay, like, don't get your mom to get you another nutritionist. Like, just listen to Leroy and just trust the process. So that's what I did. I just continued doing what I was doing, and I lost 40 pounds in 6 months by trusting the process. And I've kept it off because it's been like 10 months. And if not, I'm like just losing more weight, losing more inches. So for those of you who don't know what the ketogenic diet is, because I didn't for the longest time, it is a high-fat, moderate-protein, low-carb diet. So the purpose of it is basically your body uses carbs as energy. Everyone knows that. So once you eliminate your carb intake like by a lot, like I'm talking like 20 grams a day, your body is forced to use fat for fuel. So your body's literally like burning fat as we speak. So that's the purpose of it. My macros, for those of you who don't know what macros are, it's basically the percentage of your protein intake, your carbs, and your fat. So my macros right now are, I stick under 20 grams of carbs a day. I do around 25% of protein, which depending on like if I'm working out that day or not, I'll have a bit more protein, but it's generally around like 80 to 110 grams. And then the rest I just do like all fats. So, like avocado, fatty meats, olive oil, coconut oil, eggs, etc. And I'm going to explain to you right now what net carbs is, because I know that a lot of people have been wondering what it is, how to calculate it, etc. So a simple way to explain it, net carbs is basically you subtract the fiber from carbs. So for example, let's say half an avocado is, I think it's 6 grams of carbs, but it's 5 grams of fiber, so it's 1 net carb. You want to stay under 20 grams of net carbs a day, so you can go a bit over your actual carbs. But I just like to take the safe way out and just stick within 20 grams, like around 20 to 25 grams. And you want to make sure that most of your carbs are coming from leafy green vegetables, your avocados, all of that. I like to keep things simple. I don't really like to eat dairy because for me personally, I find that I get the best results when I eliminate dairy completely. But cheese is a great option if you want to get your fats in. A lot of people ask me what I eat in a day, so I'm going to give you, I have like a pretty specific meal plan that I follow. There are days where I'll go over my macros a bit, like over my calories a bit, but ultimately I want to stay within 13 to 1500 grams of calories. And for those of you who are freaking out, I know that it sounds like kind of a little bit, but you train your body to be able to last without that many excessive calories. And with keto, it does make your body like less hungry. So you're going to have a lot less cravings once you're fat adapted. You're going to have a lot less cravings. You're going to feel a lot less hungry. You're actually going to find that it's going to be really hard to force yourself to eat sometimes. But that's like the whole purpose of it, right? For snacks, well, actually, let me start with what I usually eat in a day. For breakfast, I'll always have eggs, 2 eggs. I either fry it with olive oil, coconut oil. If I'm having bacon with it, I'll fry it with the bacon fat, or I'll have like a 4-ounce steak or like some sausage, 4 ounces of sausage. But if not, I'll have like 2 to 3 slices of bacon. And I always want to incorporate vegetables in almost every meal. So if I'm not having half an avocado for breakfast, I'll have like sauteed spinach or broccoli or zucchini, something like that. And I always saute my vegetables with olive oil to get more fats in. For lunch, I usually have lean ground beef. I think I have 6 ounces of lean ground beef every day, with more vegetables, more green. You want leafy green vegetables. You don't want like carrots. You want to be very minimal with your tomatoes, um, leafy greens because it has high fiber too. So you're getting your net carbs in. And yeah, I'll have that. I always cook. I always cook it with either olive oil or coconut oil. Um, and I usually always have a protein shake. Collagen is really important. It's really good for your skin, your muscles, especially if you're working out and you're pretty active. It's good for like recovering your muscles, all of that. It's good for your hair growth, your nails, everything. So I'll have a scoop of collagen powder and about 30 grams of whey isolate. And MCT oil. Yes, I always have a tablespoon of MCT oil. And honestly, that's pretty much what I eat every day. But for snacks, you can always have like peanut butter. You can have nuts. Olives are really good. You can have cheese once in a while. Let's see. I mean, there's tons of keto snacks, honestly. And fat bombs. I like to stay away from fat bombs. I would discourage you from eating fat bombs until your body is accustomed to the ketogenic diet, and until your body is like adapted to fat burning. But basically, fat bombs are simple ways that you can get more fats in. It usually incorporates stevia, which is a low carb sweetener, or you can use erythritol. You can use any low carb sweetener. And then it's basically like little desserts, you know? Like my favorite fat bomb, for example, is my cheesecake fat bombs. So I basically whip up some cream cheese with stevia, some vanilla extract, some heavy whipping cream. Sometimes I'll put some peanut butter in and some low carb sugar-free chocolate chips. And I'll make it into a ball, refrigerate it, and it's literally like eating a piece of cheesecake. It's so good. But ultimately, like the reason why I say to stay away from it at first, especially if you have PCOS, is because it's gonna give you back that sugar taste. So you don't want to like trigger your cravings and go overboard. It's more like a mental thing why I would suggest staying away from it at first. But once you get that control over your diet, then, I mean, like, go for it. Like, it's a great way to get your fats in. It's delicious. The ultimate rule that I would share with you guys is just keep it simple, replace your flour with almond flour, flaxseed meal, coconut flour. It's a great way to get fiber in. Replace your sugar with any low carb sweetener. Stevia is my favorite, but I mean, there's other options too. My favorite brand of chocolate, for example, is Lily's chocolate. You can get it at like Whole Foods or any like health store. I know Healthy Planet has it too. It's so good. I would recommend baking with that or like snacking on that. It's sweetened with stevia. And yeah, that's my little tips for like what I eat every day. If you're having sugar cravings, just make fat bombs. Google any recipe. There's so many recipes online. I'm probably going to make another video of what I eat in a day and of my fat bombs and like more keto recipes. If you guys are interested in that, just let me know and I'll make a video on it because by this point I have tons of recipes. But yeah, moving on. The keto flu. A lot of people have been asking me about the keto flu, how I experienced the keto flu, what they should be expecting. Basically, the keto flu is how your body is converting from using carbs as energy to using your fat as energy. So once you start the keto diet, you're obviously very low in carbs and your body is not accustomed to using your fat as fuel. So it's that kind of like awkward stage of where you don't have either for energy. So you just feel basically very foggy, very tired. Some people feel nauseous. Like I know when I first started, like first started, I felt pretty nauseous. But I mean that only lasts like a couple of days to a week depending on your body. and then you start to feel a lot more energized. So once you're on keto, your body like feels like constantly energized. Like you always feel like you have energy. You always feel alert and awake. Like you basically don't need any caffeine. Like you are set to go. That's what I love about this diet. It's like I always feel so like even your mind feels really like a lot more awake. It's really beneficial for your mind, your clarity, all of that. It's just a really efficient way, a really efficient source of energy. And a lot of people have been asking me how to start keto. I feel like a lot of people, they get this whole like idea of like, oh, keto is going to change my life, which if you're dedicated, it will, but you don't want to get too ahead of yourself. Like, honestly, I had no idea that I was going to make it here. So I kind of just like did what my trainer told me to do, did everything he told me to do. But my advice would be to start slow, take it simple, download MyFitnessPal or any sort of app, track your macros, make sure you set a goal for your macros, so like 25% protein for your day, 20 grams of net carbs, the rest all fat. That's what I would recommend starting with, and sort of like planning out your meals. Like every day I plan ahead of time what I'm going to eat the next day. That way I know that like there's no way I'm going to slip up because I already have everything planned. That would be my recommendation on how to start, just making sure that you're organized and really prepared. And yeah, so that's for that. A lot of people have been asking me why I chose keto instead of like the paleo diet, what's it called, like something 30. Those diet, the reason why, first of all, my trainer gave me this diet, but the reason why is because this is going to be important for people with PCOS. The ketogenic diet reverses PCOS. So when you have PCOS, your insulin resistance is very high. Basically, it's insulin is what breaks down your sugar and your carbs, your starch in your body, and breaks it down and converts it to energy. So when you have high insulin resistance, it basically it holds that and goes into your bloodstream, and makes you gain weight. I don't know if that's exactly how it works, but that's how I remember it. That's how I remember my doctor describing it to me. So basically you want to stay away from all sugar. And with those other diets, I know fruit is like a really big part of it, and fruit is what you need to stay away from, because even though it's natural sugar, it's still sugar regardless. I mean, you can have avocado. Obviously, I love avocados. You can have some berries because I know that they're low in carbs and low in sugar. I think they're like around 5 net carbs, but like very minimal. You just want to keep your insulin really low. Keep your sugar low, and it all balances out. A lot of people have been asking me, have I ever cheated? I would have to say it depends on how you consider cheating, how you define cheating. There are days where I feel like I do go a bit over my carbs, and I do go a bit over my my calories. I usually stick within, like I said, like 1,500 calories, but I have never had any artificial sugar, and I've never had any gluten. So to me, cheating is like if I were to eat like an Oreo or like a piece of cake with like real sugar, real gluten, or like bread, pizza. To me, that's cheating. But to me, what I like cheating that I find acceptable is like once in a while, like eating a bit over your calories, having your cheese, going a bit over your carb intake. Like once you're fat adapted, it's fine, as long as you know that you're gonna get right back into track. Yeah, I mean, I fully support people who cheat once in a while, because I know that's what you need sometimes to stay consistent and to last in this diet. Like, remember, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle, so you want to like be able to survive and like not feel like you're dying inside with cravings, right? Another thing, alcohol. I mean, I'm 21 years old. I love to party. I don't really go out that much anymore, but in the summer I did a lot. And when I do drink, just make sure, honestly, have fun, have your drinks. Like, it is extra calories, which you do want to avoid, but I mean, if you're going out, don't resist. Like, have fun. Just make sure that you drink either, like my go-to is vodka soda or tequila shots. That's pretty much all that I'll drink. No chaser, no chaser. I mean, just Google it. There's tons of, like, there's a lot of alcohol that has 0 carbs and 0 sugar, like vodka, tequila. I don't know what other ones. Those are just the ones that I stick to. And I know that there's, like, some wines out there that are, like, 5 grams of net carbs, pretty low in carbs that you can go for as well. But yeah, ultimately, I just want everyone to know my little secret. I mean, the keto diet really has changed my life. It really has. I mean, I used to honestly never expect to be right where I am right now. Like, in my mind, this, like, how I look right now is how I've always wanted to look like my entire life. Like, now I finally get to look in the mirror and, like, just love everything that I see. Like, sometimes I just can't even believe it. I mean, I know that I worked hard for it, but it's like, I have the privilege of looking in the mirror every day and loving what I see. Like, it is just the best feeling in the world. And, like, when people start to notice, like, when I first started and when people started to notice my change, like, that was when I really knew, like, okay, like, this is gonna change my life. And honestly, it changed my entire life, like, in terms of how I look at my life. Ultimately, what I have to say is that, like, if you really want something and you put your mind to it, it is yours. Like, there is no reason why you can't have something. There's no reason, like, no matter how crazy your dreams may seem. Like, I've always dreamed of being in this place. I've always dreamed of having to make this video about my weight loss story. I never thought I would make it, but I mean, I just hope that this video gives other women and, like, people in general who have dealt with any sort of issue with their weight, like, the courage and the inspiration to just know that like, if I can do it, anyone can do it, literally. So yeah, that concludes my video. If anyone has any other ideas of what they want me to make videos of, I think my next video is gonna be, like, what I eat in a day, or, like, recipes or something. But yeah, if you have any other ideas, just let me know, and I will leave my Instagram down below for you guys to contact me and follow me. I really hope you like this video. Bye guys, love you.